Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of what is the Arsenal News Show. Joining you every morning at 8 a.m. UK time. Thank you so much for making this, as always, a part of your morning routines. Good morning to all of you joining us live in the chat box. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Let's join people who've managed to get in there first this morning, which is fantastic to see as always. Marcus, good morning to you. To Carl Harrison, Yomi, Kabir, good morning. Olu, Martin, Alex, Yomi. We've got Gary Griffin, Louis, Dave, Amira, Paul, Rich. We've got NSW, Damien, Roy, Blackshine as well. There's so many people joining us as always, so consistently, and so many familiar faces that are really committed to making this a great place. And it's always great to see some brand new names in the chat box as well. Damien joining us at 2 a.m. in Jamaica. That shows you the level of commitment that goes on from some of you. Fantastic. Thank you so much, as always. We managed to get over 1,000 likes on yesterday's video, which is an incredible achievement considering it's still the international break. So if we can try and smash this one over 1,000 likes as well, that would be pretty darn awesome. So fingers crossed. Let's see if we can get over 1,000 likes on today's video. Jumping in, of course, to today's stories then. And I'm hoping that you can see me. Do let me know in the chat box. For some reason, StreamYard's telling me I've got 0 viewers right now, even though I can see all of you there in the chat box. So I'm hoping that you can see. If for some reason people are saying no, tell them that they need to refresh their streams for some reason. But yes, we start off with news of the new artwork up at the Emirates Stadium. Courtesy picture here of George Bird on Twitter. Basically showing the youth aspect of Arsenal. So really, really nice photo depicting players that, of course, have gone through the youth academy from the men's and the women's teams, progressing through the youth academy and coming out the other side. Jack Wilshere features one of the most recent examples. There's no Bukayo Saka or Emile Smith-Rowe. It's my understanding the club have been kind of keen to avoid current players on the artworks around the stadium, because the idea is that these will be redone every kind of 10 years. So obviously when they do the next artworks in a decade's time, there'll be more features of players from, say, teams that like we have now with Mikel Arteta. That's why Mikel Arteta's not on the outside of the stadium, because I think there's an aspect of what if those players were to leave? Say you have Smith Rowe on the stadium and then he goes and signs for Spurs, something like that. So that's my understanding of the situation. But yeah, there's a number of players there. You can see Charlie George, Wilshere, David O'Leary, Rachel Yankee, Liam Brady, plenty more as well. So yeah, it's fantastic to see another piece of artwork that you can go and visit at the Emirates Stadium at your next opportunity. Arsenal's new home kit has been leaked, and I think this was kind of leaked before, but there's now been some adjustments made. As you can tell, the Fly Emirates situation with the what's it called, the sponsorship on the front is now white. That was previously gold in some of the previous suggestions of what the kit would be, and overall we can see there's kind of a lightning bolt effect moving down the middle, a very thin effect in the background of the torso section of the shirt as well. There's gold trim on the sleeves, and there's gold lines, where the Adidas lines on the shoulders, where you can see on the shirt I'm wearing. We've got the kind of the navy blue ones on the pink third kit. That's now gold. And the sleeves are completely white, taking over above the shoulders as well. So yeah, that looks like what is going to be the brand new home kits for the new season. We'll obviously get confirmation of that in the weeks and months to come. But I kind of like this a lot more than I was liking it in some of the earlier photos that were being released, which is really good news. Some of the old ones weren't particularly great photos. I think it looks really good. The gold on it is, as far as I'm aware, meant to kind of represent the 20-year anniversary of the Invincibles winning the Gold Premier League trophy. And it would be great to see a gold Premier League winners patch on that kit for next season, wouldn't it, if Arsenal are able to pick up a victory in the title race this season? We'll have to wait and see if that ends up happening. Now, there's been some concerns for Leeds ahead of Arsenal's game against them on Saturday. Both Gnonto and Maxi Voba are doubts for Leeds United, who both picked up injuries whilst away on international duty. Gnonto was replaced after just 22 minutes in Italy's game with Malta, in which they won 2-0. that Gnonto's probably been the most impressive player in the Leeds team of late, and he supposedly is not going to be, or at least is going to be a significant doubt for Leeds on Saturday. So that's, I suppose, a bit of a boost for Arsenal, but there are expectations, according to The Athletic, that they aren't serious injuries, so who knows? They could still pop up in the team. We'll have to wait and see. Now, a piece that I dedicated some time to yesterday was in response to a lot of suggestions that Declan Rice is overrated or he's not technically good enough. I thought I would go on a bit of a myth-busting route yesterday. And so on football.london, of which you can find the article on my page, if you just go to football.london, I think it probably is one of the most higher-rated pieces on the website. Yeah, it's second on the website at the moment on the right-hand side of the page, so you can find it there. I will leave a link to it as well right now in the chat box. Give that a read too. But the idea basically was around the fact that a lot of people feel that Declan Rice is a bit, for some reason, overrated, not technically good enough. And for me, I think that's a bit of an oversight on what Declan Rice brings. And so I thought I would go into the actual kind of statistics, the numbers behind that, to see if there's any evidence to back up these suggestions. And it turns out not really. Declan Rice comes out really well in terms of take-ons, in terms of controlling the ball, the lack of miscontrols that he has compares to Caicedo, his progression of the ball, in which way he's press resistant, the way he takes the ball to the opposition when in possession. So if you have had your feelings about Rice, or you feel he's overrated or he's not technically good enough, I would recommend you going and checking out that piece. So please do indeed give that a listen. Marcus, isn't it Sunday? No, the Arsenal game, as far as I'm aware, is on Saturday, unless I'm going to have to change all of my plans. But I'm pretty sure Arsenal Leeds is on Saturday. It is 3 o'clock Saturday, not being shown on UK television. So do bear that in mind. I'll be at the Emirates, so if you need any updates from the game, I'll be doing the live blog from the Emirates Stadium on Football London, so you can find all the updates there. Bad news, hopefully not too bad news, because unfortunately, Thomas Partey is... Well, we haven't got official confirmation of this. All we have is Houghton talking specifically about a small injury, which they felt in the Ghana national team was too risky for them to play Partey in Ghana's match yesterday. Hopefully this isn't too bad. You can see the picture on your screen now of the medical staff applying strapping to what appears to be his thigh, which obviously is an area that he has consistently injured on numerous occasions. We don't know the extent of the injury. We don't know if he comes back, if there's going to be any issue with him playing against Leeds on Saturday. We will have to wait and see. But I really, really hope that obviously this is not a serious problem, because he is important to what Arsenal are looking to achieve in the last 10 games. And we missed Partey in the last 10 games of last season, and it had a significant impact on what was obviously going on in our hope of qualifying for the Champions League. If he isn't available, of course, I have complete faith in Jorginho being the guy to come in and provide cover in that area. But also, the irony is here, obviously, with Tomiyasu injured, Partey went and played at right back in Arsenal's last game against Crystal Palace. And also, obviously, that meant that Partey was kind of being used at right back to deputise if Ben White needs to come off. If we lose Partey, that's another option that we lose out on, that Arteta was potentially considering to cover that area. So we got to keep our fingers crossed here. We'll hear from Mikel Arteta at the end of this week in his press conference, and then find out how bad any injury that it is there is. But all I'm saying right now is don't panic. Chris Houghton saying it's a small injury and they didn't want to risk him. I don't think I'd risk him against Leeds if we can help it, because obviously we're going to need him when we travel up to Anfield. And our headline story of the day, according to Sammy Mokbel of the Mail, Saka is set to earn a maximum £300,000 per week contract, around £15 million a year. This is going to be signed, if not now, very, very soon. And we should hear confirmation of his brand new contract, hopefully before the end of the season, which will be a significant boost and a big boost to the fan base. And of course, that would bring a bit of a lift, if we even needed more of a lift, to the team. But what I want you to be absolutely clear on is this is not a £300,000 per week base contract. This is a £300,000 per week maximum contract. What I mean by that is that he's probably earning an estimated £190,000 per week, and then the extra £110,000 per week. On top of that, are made up in bonuses, appearances, goal bonuses, potential league wins. Everything that goes with that can lead up and build up to the £15 million per year. But it's a £10 million per year contract with a £5 million plus per year bonus fee on top of that, depending on what Saka achieves throughout the campaign. So for those that want to make the comparisons with Ozil, with Aubameyang, just remember that there is significant bonuses attached to this contract. But still, Saka does indeed become Arsenal's highest paid player with this brand new deal, going above that of Gabriel Jesus, who is expected to be on around £220,000 per week. Gabriel Martinelli's contract took him up close to £200,000 per week. And of course, we're hoping to hear news of William Saliba's brand new contract as well, which hopefully we will also hear about before the end of the season. It is a big, big fee that we are obviously giving and paying to Bukayo Saka. Hopefully, it's a long-term contract. I feel as though, that the initial 5-year extension that would take him up to 2029. I'm hoping that this is a deal all the way through to 2030. That's what we've got to hope that this deal provides, because when you pay someone this amount of money, you're hoping that it's going to be for a long period of time. And we've started to see really significantly long contracts as well given to players like Mudryk at Chelsea, 8-year deals, Enzo Fernandez. So hopefully this is the same case with Arsenal and Saka. So let's wait and see what happens. But a big news for that. Fantastic that Saka is indeed going to be staying, and all the rival fans that have been suggesting that Arsenal should, clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona should be looking to try and sign him on a free in January of next year. I'm afraid you're going to be very disappointed, because the star boy is here to stay. Now, of course, there is only 12 hours left, less than that, in fact, 11 hours left on our Arsene Wenger signed shirt competition, courtesy of Football Prizes. 69 tickets are available according to websites, so do not miss out on your chance to get hold of a ticket and potentially also win an instant win prize, which includes a signed Freddie Ljungberg Arsenal shirt, a signed and framed Arsenal Patrick Vieira photo montage, and a signed and framed Jens Lehmann signed and framed Arsenal montage as well as plenty of Football Prizes site credit as well. Tomorrow we'll bring you news of the brand new prize that's going to be going up on the website as well, but don't miss out on your chance to win this one. You've got a great chance with the amount of tickets that have just been sold. So there you go. Look forward to seeing if any of our listeners end up winning it. Okay, let's go to part 2 then, and your questions right after this. Now, you can also get your hands, as I always say, on our TGT non-profit merch that goes to help support Cancer Macmillan Support and the Arsenal Foundation as well. Thank you to everybody that's already ordered theirs. I got some pictures through of some of the ideas, and so did our members, of what's going to be happening in closer to the summertime, of potential other items that we're going to be looking to sell out to try and raise more money for charity as well. And our members in our Discord server have been giving their thoughts and opinions on some of those. It's really good, I think, to get that feedback off you guys, because obviously you guys are the people that are going to be interested in getting hold of them. So we've talked about bronze and gold, kind of the hats that reflect on the away kit. We've talked about phone cases. People talked about, obviously, with this being an 8 a.m. show, it makes sense to have a mug as well, but it depends on pricing and stuff like that. But with it being a morning show, a mug obviously does make a lot of sense. So you can have your mug and watch this mug. So hopefully we can get some more information on that very soon. But again, thank you to everybody that's helped supporting some great causes. As soon as we get to our first quarter, I'll let you know what our total for the first donation is. We're doing like quarterly donations throughout the year. So as soon as we have that, I'll let you know what it is. Okay, let's go to the chat box then and take some of your questions this morning. Marcus says, is Bailey on £300,000 per week in his new job? I hope he's doing well and guesting on here soon. Bailey is doing very well. He's enjoying his new job, and I'm sure you'll see Bailey on here soon. We're certainly keeping in touch. It's a shame we don't work together anymore, but he's doing fantastically, and he's very happy where he is, which is what I'm most importantly concerned about. So yeah, good, fair play to that man, and you'll see him on here very, very soon, I'm sure. Marcus says, a new prize is a signed... Look, no one needs a signed TGT cap. Imagine going around wearing a signed cap from me. No one needs that. What I have thought about, though, is that the ones going to America, because obviously when we go to Chicago, and I should say, as far as I was told yesterday, there was only a handful of tickets left. So if you're planning on coming to Chicago on the 21st of April, 22nd of April, and you've not yet bought your tickets for Gooner, you need to get them now, because if you don't, you are going to miss out. I was told yesterday there's only a handful of tickets left. For those that are coming, I was planning on bringing kind of an exclusive TGT cap. I need to speak to Liv, the person who's helping us out with our merchandise, and see if we can do that. Potentially like a red, white, and blue one, if that's even possible. I don't know if you can like embroider different colors, but maybe a red, white, and blue logo on the front of the cap would be quite fun to take out to America exclusively for those people that are going to be attending the event, so they can try and get hold of one. So there you go. Let's go to Big White Clock says way more deserving of the big bucks is Saka than our previous 300k plus beneficiaries. I can't say I don't disagree with that. I think certainly Aubameyang and Ozil were in the end less deserving of those big deals. Hopefully Saka just continues on the form of what we've expected. I think this is the right way of doing it. You think about, you're investing a lot of money in a young player that's only going to get better, rather than a player that's arguably only going to get worse because they're already past their 30th birthday. And back then that was kind of what the trend had shown to be. Now things are very different, of course, but I still think this is the right way about doing it. Let's go to Jason says 300k per week is for Star Boy and his value for money at that price. If you think about it, how much money would it take to replace Bukayo Saka? And I mean, the answer is, I don't think there is an answer. I don't think there is an answer for that question, because I don't think there's anyone in the world that could do that. So 10 to 15 million pounds a year to keep hold of the best right winger in the world, I think is an absolute bargain, because no matter what you're going to have to pay for a new winger, you're going to have to pay them significant wages as well. So it's financially just makes so much sense for Arsenal. AFC Till I Die says, could Partey's injury be more to do with the fact that Arsenal's medical team are being overly safe? Of course, we know that one of the Arsenal medical staff did travel out with Partey to Ghana. That's a very common thing that Arsenal do. It's not just with Partey, it happens with a lot of players. There would have been recommendations. They would be doing everything they can to protect the player and protect him from potential injury. Injuries can still happen no matter what. Even if you could send out a fleet of people with Partey, it doesn't mean that he's going to be avoiding injury, but hopefully it's not too much of a problem. Girish says, what do you think about signing Marco Asensio on a free transfer so he can be a good backup option to Saka and also cover other various positions? It's not a too bad idea to sign him on a free. I'm not sure I'd have bought him on a permanent deal and invest in him, even though I'm a big fan of Asensio. His injuries are a bit of a concern, and he's kind of dipped in form since recovering from that significant knee injury he actually suffered against Arsenal in pre-season a few years ago. But on a free deal, maybe someone that we could consider, but maybe there's better options out there that are more stylistically suited to that right wing position, closer to Saka. Let's go to Martin says, I'd love to go to Chicago, but I go on holiday on the Monday, so it'd be a bit of a rush. Well, Martin, I'm sorry we will miss you, but I hope you have a fantastic holiday. Jan says, Tom, what about a signed cap from Kevin Campbell for your Chicago auction? It's not a bad idea. I'm sure Kev would be more than happy to sign the cap and help for charity. Thank you for the idea. I love that. I'll certainly consider it and speak to Sophie. I'm speaking to Sophie tonight. As I tell you, there is no 8 a.m. show like this tomorrow, but there is going to be the Eat, Sleep, Arsenal Repeat podcast that will drop at 8 a.m. It will be a premiere, so there'll be a live chat. Make sure for those joining and people are going, is this live? Why is Tom not taking any questions? Because it'll be pre-recorded and there. But obviously, you guys that are in the chat box will obviously be telling people it's not live and that they can't ask questions because we're pre-recording it tonight. Reason being is I'm going to the hospital tomorrow for something. Not particularly happy about it. A little bit worried about it, but don't worry too much about me. It's just me being scared. It's nothing. It's just one of those where you're like, the procedure's a bit scary, but I should be fine. I'm sure I'll be fine. And I'll be back with you on Thursday. Let's go to Ben, who says, hey, Tom, question. There's been a lot of talk about Rice and improving the midfield, but don't we need some cover for Saka, who could be possible? I think we arguably do. I think Nelson's position, obviously, and his contract situation is going to have an impact on maybe what we do with Marquinhos. Marquinhos is a player that's done pretty well since moving to Norwich on loan. He got a goal and an assist on his first start and has continued to get some minutes. But yeah, he's certainly a player that we need to, I think we need to be considerate of what we're going to be doing that right-hand side, because I think Saka does need, especially with Champions League football next season, someone to push him. There's an argument that Trossard maybe could do that. There's an argument even that Jesus could do that if you wanted him to. So maybe we have the option to back up Saka already. Let's go to, thanks guys, appreciate all the kind words you're putting in the chat box. No, I'm not having the snip, Martin. I haven't even had kids yet. Jesus. Maximia says, hey Tom, which side of the fence are you on Southgate's comments on Marcus Rashford missing out on international fixtures? Even we may have to protect players like Saka similarly in the future. Southgate Rashford. Okay, let's go to Rashford, who withdrew after picking up a knock in the FA Cup win over Fulham, has since jetted off to New York with his partner, which has divided opinion. The forward has now missed 5 of England's last 6 non-tournament internationals, and Tony Cascarino, talks about believes his decision won't sit well with Southgate. He said the manager's not pleased with that. Why would he be? With his withdrawal, how can you decide on a player if he's not present, and he's not been present enough? England weren't aware of the trip to New York, and that is going to frustrate Gareth. He wants ultimate loyalty. I've not heard anything from Southgate. The England boss then went on to say his focus was on the current squad, but would have wanted the United man if possible. Once Marcus is ruled out of the squad, it's entirely up to him how he spends his time, he says. The players don't get a lot of breaks, and I'm sure some of them would be flying off to tomorrow's game if they get 48 hours off with the schedule as it is. We are always linking with clubs on scans and assessments. There is also how every individual player feels, so there is not a lot involved. I'm always working with the players on that best solution for them, and of course, we always want the players we want to work with as often as we can. And if every squad we have, we always lose a couple. My focus then has to be on the group that are here and how do we win the games. Southgate added that Marcus is in good form and we'd love to have had him in the squad as an option for this camp, but we haven't got him. I mean, there's not really much in there. He's obviously gone to New York. If he's injured, he's injured. Some injuries stop you from playing and allow you to travel. Some don't. I just think that if he then plays for Man United this weekend and starts that game, that's not a great look, is it? So, yeah, let's see if he plays for Man United at the weekend before we have an opinion on that. Manu says, where is Mohamed El Neni? Still injured. He had successful knee surgery. He's probably out for the rest of the season. Maybe be back for the last couple if we're lucky. But, yeah, very... very, very difficult to see that. No, I'm not having a baby. You think I wouldn't be worried about that type of procedure, would you? It's no, I am certainly not. Mira says, I saw you said Saliba could play right back if White's not available. I've also seen the Kieran Tierney at left back and Zinni right back, considering his free role. How much does this really matter since we tend to play with 2/3 in possession? In possession, I think we do play with a 3. Saliba is the reason why I move him over Zinchenko. Zinchenko needs to stay at left back, needs to play in that position. The one that I'd rather move Tierney over Zinchenko personally. Tierney has played right back for Scotland in the past, so it's not that he's not ever been familiar with that role, but I think Saliba fits the bill more. I think it changes the least amount of cogs in the machine, if you will, because Rob Holding just comes into right centre back and you stick him there, and then you have Zinchenko playing on the left hand side. So yeah, I think that's the way forwards. Christian says, great work, Tom, as always. Thanks, mate. Any news on Saliba? Still no, unfortunately. No news on Saliba's situation and his injury again. We won't likely hear much until we hear from Arteta at the end of this week in his next press conference. That's probably when we'll hear something about that. SJ Gunner says, what do you think about signing Nico Williams, Declan Rice and Fresneda within that 150 million? That is potentially possible. Declan Rice, I reckon you'll be able to get for around that 70 million price tag. Nico Williams is expected to have around a 40 million buyout clause. And Ivan Fresneda has supposedly been able to get for around 15 million or so. Maybe that will rise in the summer. We'll have to see. But if Arsenal sign those 3 players, I think that's a very good foundation for your summer. You've brought in the midfielder that competes, you've brought in a forward that competes, and you've brought in a fullback that gives you something different. I still think there's options at forward, depending on what happens with Fowler and Balogun, and I think that we need to consider a right-sided centre-back as well. But there are things that need to be done, but yeah, no, it's not a colonoscopy. I shouldn't have said anything. You guys are just coming up with the weirdest suggestions now. Certainly not. I don't know, it's easier. I'm just having an MRI on my heart. That's all that's going on. But it's like one of those procedures where they give you like a drug that speeds your heart up really fast, and they chuck you in an MRI machine, and basically like you sit there whilst your heart's doing like 300 beats per minute. That's why it's scary. I'm just not good in those tight spaces, especially when your heart's doing that kind of speed. So there you go. That's if you were so desperate to know, that's what it is. If that stops these strange allegations that are now coming out. Let's go to Philip, who says, "What's your favorite home kit and third kit?" We know the new black kit is the second. Yes, it is. My favorite home kit. My favorite home kit, I think, is if you go back to the 2012-13 season, which is when we signed Olivier Giroud. It's also the summer we let Robin van Persie leave. It was like a red and white, and then it had a thick kind of navy trim on the sleeves. And that was the season that I first managed to get to an Arsenal game for the first time. So that's why that home kit will mean a hell of a lot to me. And Olivier Giroud is on the back of that shirt. I have that somewhere. But that would be my favorite home kit. And the third kit, I like this kit, to be honest. The pink kit's quite nice, but there are other ones that have been better. We had one that was like the kit that we always lost in. Do you remember that? It was like a really dark navy blue, and then it had a white, gold, and turquoise diagonal stripe at the bottom of the kit. I liked that kit. I also really liked the one from the Ludogorets Özil goal, which was like the navy with the neon yellow trim. I never got that shirt for some reason. I don't know why. I just managed, never would have got it that season. But that also was a really, really nice kit. I think that was a third kit in that competition. So I think that probably would be that one. You can tell there's a theme appearing here. They're always kind of black or close to black colors with my favorite third kits. But yeah, that certainly was it. Let's go. Yomi says, "Why do you need meds to speed up your heart rate? Just watch Mustafi's defending. That should do the job." Oh, dearie me. KW3 says, "You can't beat the old JVC kits." Yeah, some of the retro ones are really nice. And the yellow one, obviously the bruised banana kit, a lot of people like. But obviously, I'm speaking from my era of watching football. I really like those kits, but I kind of go off what I watched in the flesh rather than what I've seen Arsenal do in the past, watching tapes and historical videos of the club. Even though I really like those kits, you know, I think that's, for me, when I've been able to go to games when I grew up a little bit, you know, that started when I really started appreciating the shirts. I love the 2006 yellow kit as well that took us to the Champions League final. You know, Thierry Henry scoring in the Bernabeu. That yellow kit was my first ever Arsenal kit. So that holds certainly a special place in my heart as well. I think I lost it as a kid, which makes me feel so horrible inside. But that was my first ever Arsenal kit, and it's somewhere. It'll be somewhere at my parents' house, I'm sure. Just kind of tucked away in loads of boxes. That's where it'll be. Hopefully I can find it again one day. The all white FA Cup defeat at Forest. That's not really a first, second, or third kit. That's obviously the campaign against knife crime kit, which is the No More Red style kit. Which I'm not a fan of the design because it's very Spurs like. If you go all white, but obviously the messaging behind it is very, very important. Yomi says, "Let's bring back long sleeves." No, not a fan of long sleeves, even though I know that's Thierry Henry scoring in the Bernabeu as that long sleeve kit, but not a fan of long sleeve kits. Never, ever have been. What was the kit the day you were born? Arsenal home shirt, 1994-95. What was that kit? Was that the... I think that was the lightning bolt away kit, the JVC one, which, I probably should try and get hold of one of those one day, seeing as it was the year I was born, was that kit. Arsenal 1994 away shirt. Yeah, that is the lightning bolt kit, the JVC one. But they're very, very nice. But some of the genuine runs rather than the remakes are very, very expensive to now find. I don't know what the home kit was. Arsenal 92-94 home shirt. Again, I think that's from 93-94. I don't know what the 94-95 one. Arsenal history kits is like something I like Danny would certainly be looking at. Arsenal kit history. Right, let me share my screen. I feel like this is how we go with this, because otherwise you're just staring at a screen and it's not very exciting for you at all. So let me share my screen with you. Arsenal kit history. We're going to end the show on this. It's always a nice, fun bit to end the show on something random. So, yes, obviously this is the kits for this season, and then the goalkeepers. That was last season. Let me show you what season was. I liked that third kit, the 1920 third kit. That was quite nice. Where is this one? So 16-17 Arsenal third kit. That navy blue and yellow one was quite nice. Quite like the away kit that season as well. That was the Alexis Sanchez scoring in that one a few times. This one here, this third kit, the 15-16 one was quite nice. I had this third kit, 14-15. This is the home kit. So that's the home kit for my first season as an Arsenal fan. First season I ever went to a game was that home kit. So I have that one with Olivier Giroud on the back. 12-13 it was, but we kept it during the 13-14 season. Weird that we kept the same home kit for 2 seasons in a row. Very strange indeed. And then what else do we have? We had is it the centenary kit? I think they called it. Or 125 years maybe, with the different logo on the back, which is the first time we signed Mikel Arteta. I think that's the shirt we had when we signed Mikel Arteta, and I have that away kit with kind of the diagonal stripe. That was quite nice. But yeah, let's scroll down to obviously this 05-06, but that 05-06 away kit was my first Arsenal kit, and then I've got to go all the way back to 94. Okay, so it was the Lightning Bolt home kit as well. Yeah, a very rare kit to be able to find, but the home and away kits were very nice. And the third kit as well, the Lightning Bolts down. I remember us playing in that. Never seen clips of that kit. But yeah, I'm going to have to try and pick one of those two up as the year of my birth when Arsenal played. But yeah, a lot of people like this JVC away kit from 93-94, and obviously the Bruised Banana kit in 92-93. Kevin Campbell scored a few very nice goals in that kit as well. Okay, let's round the show off there. Thank you so much, guys, everybody that's tuned into today's show. I don't know why StreamYard's only showing me that we apparently have one listener on Twitch. It's not showing me any of the YouTube listeners, but I can see so many of you are there. Please do drop a like on the video. It means so much to me when you do. We hit over 1,000 yesterday, so it'd be amazing if you could somehow help us out to hit that target again today. That'd be absolutely brilliant. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Really appreciate your time. And as I said, there won't be a news show live tomorrow morning, but there will be a Eat Sleep Arsenal repeat podcast dropping at 8 a.m. UK time. So you will still have a show to listen to in the morning. So we'll be putting that out for you tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Have a fantastic day. I will see you live again on Thursday. And of course, I'll see you tomorrow morning with the Eat Sleep Arsenal repeat podcast. And as always, up the Arsenal.